Hey guys, today we're going over your online presence and how not to be a secret agent. So we don't want to be these profiles here. So the first thing we're going to do is we want your online presence. So I want to know, when is the last time you Googled yourself? How many profiles have you set up and then forgot about? A lot of times we're at different conventions or classes like this, and we set up a profile and then we completely forget about it and it goes by the wayside. And you may have a picture from 10 years ago. Hopefully it's not an old glamour shot, but your bio's outdated and your information or your website or your email, something might have changed. So I want you to go in there and Google yourself, find out what that is. Also, are you where the consumers are? And what does your professional photo look like, or your photo in general? Is it a professional photo? Is it a family photo that you just cropped yourself out of? Is it just outside in your yard and you just had someone take a quick photo with your phone? I want to know, what does your photos look like? Are they professional? Because your photo is your brand. Also, is your email, phone, bio, everything, company, is that listed on all of your profiles and websites that you're listed on? You want to be consistent throughout all of your profiles, but you also want to make that a priority at least once a year to go through, Google yourself, find out what profiles you're on, and update everything. Of course, if you're switching a company or something like that, automatically that's a given. You have to go through that. It's just part of the transition. So make sure that you update your profiles and Google yourself so that everything is consistent across the board. So I wanted to do something a little fun. So a lot of times I've worked with agents and they're like, I can't get on the first page of Google, or when you Google my name, I show up as, a football player or a baseball player or something like that. I can pretty much guarantee you I have not met somebody who has it as tough as I do. And Google Academy had a blast using my name, and it was great. It gave me a lot of different examples on what I can do to improve and get up on that first page. So I want you to get out your phone right now, and I want you to Google your first and last name and see what pops up. And I want to see if anyone can beat my problem. So ready, set, go. Go look at your phone. Go Google yourself, see what comes up. What name comes up first? What are the handles that pop up? What are the videos or photos? Is it as good as mine? So when you Google Heather Holliday, we have a lot of images, a lot of videos, and of course, all of the handles for social media are at Heather Swallows. So I want to know if anyone can beat my name. And if you do, I want you to email me, text me, Facebook me, send me a private message. I want to know if you can beat what I have to contend with. So Heather Holliday's a sword swallower, obviously, doesn't wear a whole lot of clothes. She is on the Freak Show, and she was up in Coney Island and, kind of took a little side when Hurricane Sandy came through. But as soon as she got the gig on MTV Freak Show, that was it for me. She's now an international star. My father in Germany has sent me articles about Heather Holliday over in Germany doing shows. So forget about it. I'm a dunner. I'm not anywhere. I'm probably on the very bottom of a first page, but it is always kind of funny. Love to be able to get my website or something like that, but I can't. So I don't think you have to worry about having as many issues as I have. So I just thought I'd throw that out there, but make sure you're Googling your name often, see what's popping up. The first profile you should definitely set up is your Flex profile. This is what you're handing out, all the properties as you're showing them. You have the listings. It's going to have all your information on it. It blows my mind how many people don't have a photo, don't have their website, don't have their correct email address or their cell phone listed. Make sure that you have your profile completely set up on Flex. You just want to make sure, and I want you to do that as soon as we get done with this class, because that is super important. It's what you're handing out to all of the people that you're showing properties and emailing for prospective clients. So make sure that your Flex profile is completely up to date with as much information as you possibly can, as well as having that profile photo. Social media. Stop being a secret agent. I manage quite a few Facebook groups, And it blows my mind. I probably get about 50 requests a day between the multiple groups, and it blows my mind how many agents do not have that they're a realtor on their profile. They don't have their in their like where they work. They don't have their company page linked up. They don't have their if they have a business page, that should be linked up. You want to make it as easy as possible for someone to find you. You're on Facebook, you're sharing stuff. Make sure in your about section you have your website, your phone number, that you have any handles that you have on any other social platforms. Make sure you have everything completely set up and that it's super easy for someone to find you. I get asked for referral agents all the time from all over the place, and I may know someone, but if I happen to be on Facebook, I'm going to quickly go in onto Facebook and I go into their about. If their phone number, website, or email's not there, guess what? I'm going to the next agent. So make sure you're not a secret agent. Make sure that your friends, family, and sphere can easily find your information, because that's going to make it super easy to get more deals. So that's my number one tip on social, is to make sure your profiles and bios, make sure that everything is completely set up on all of those channels that you're on, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, anything like that. Make sure they're completely set up. You also want to make sure that when you're posting, you're not just posting listings, because that's just crazy. You're not just selling a house. You're selling a way of life. Offer value, offer things that are going to create engagement, ask questions, make sure that it's social media. It's not just media, it's social. What you want to do is be authentic. You want to be positive and passionate and personal. You want to start creating those online relationships that you can easily take offline. You want to be able to go to a local event, the art festival or something like that, and somebody that's connected with you online will easily shout out your name. Hey, Heather, how are you? And it'll take you a second to realize you've never met this person offline, but you are connected online. So you know what's going on with their family and everything else. Make sure that you're making those connections on social media. That's where you're going to get that wonderful business, create those relationships, and give you more business. So it doesn't have to be all about listings. Provide value. And my gosh, we live on the Space Coast. We have so many amazing things that are going on between the launches and, the zoo and being named, the number one beach city to live in. We have so many amazing things going on here on the Space Coast. Make sure to share that. You're not just selling a house, you're selling a way of life. We are more than houses. Be personal, passionate, and authentic. And you're going to see those relationships completely grow as you're doing social media. So that's my social media tip. Make sure not to be a secret agent and create those relationships. Zillow. Love them or hate them, it's where the consumers are. Make sure it doesn't cost anything to set up your profile in your about section. You can hyperlink so you can have them go to your actual website. Make sure that you have everything completely set up, the areas you serve, what your specialties are. Make sure that your current and your past listings are showing up on your solds, all on your profile. That's super easy to do. You can export all that data from Flex, put it in the spreadsheet that Zillow wants, email it over to them, and the next morning your profile will look like $1,000,000 having all of your past sales, your current listings, anything like that. Make sure that you're enhancing the listings that you currently have. Make sure that all the professional photos are showing up, and add as much detail as you can. It is only feeding through certain information from the MLS, but you can add a whole lot more. That's where the consumers are. I will say, if you're paying for Zillow for any zip codes, you want to make sure that you're getting those Zillow reviews onto that profile, because that's going to definitely enhance when you're competing against other agents on that certain zip code. You want to make sure that you have as many Zillow reviews as possible. Realtor.com, it's another place consumers are. Make sure that you have everything completely set up, your specialties, the years in business, anything that you do, your past sales, your bio. Make sure everything is completely set up over there. If you're a brokerage, make sure that, obviously your brokerage has an account for each of your locations, but you can also make sure that all of your agents are linked to you, and you can easily download a report, and it's going to tell you which agents have what part of their bio completely done so that you can remind them to completely fill out their profile, make sure their cell phone, their website, their email are all on there. It's going to give you a nice report on a brokerage level for each one of your agents. So make sure if you're a brokerage, a manager, make sure that you're doing that on behalf of your agents, giving them a little reminder to set that all up for them. Your website, everybody has one. You get a free one from SCAR, you get a free one from NAR, and maybe your company offers it, your franchise, whatnot. You have a website. I want to make sure that you have a domain set up. I would go and get your own domain through GoDaddy, have it pointed to whatever website works for you. Every website has different aspects and different looks and feels, and as you grow, that need may change. But by going to GoDaddy or whatnot, getting your own domain, you have full control over your marketing, and it won't have to change every time you change a platform on a website. So make sure that you go over, I personally like GoDaddy, go over there, buy that domain for $14 a year. Make sure it's on every single marketing piece that you put on there, any graphics you do, any advertising. Make sure that domain is on everything you do, your business cards, your flyers, on Flex. Make sure it's everywhere. You don't want to be a secret agent. Showcase that website. It's the easiest way for people to be able to find you. So go do that if you haven't already. How many of you have been on Nextdoor? Nextdoor is kind of like the biggest up and coming. I live in Palm Bay. It's very interesting. It's getting better, but I know a year ago, I think I set up a profile and it was almost like going to Walmart in Palm Bay. It was quite weird, but definitely go on to Nextdoor, set up a profile, check that out. Be the real estate expert in your neighborhood. Offer value, you can run ads, you can post your listings, whatnot, but watch what people are saying and definitely check that out. And every neighborhood is different, but they are pretty cool. So if you haven't been on there, make sure to check that out. Google My Business. Make sure, I know Google Plus has kind of gone away, but make sure to go to Google My Business and set up your business as an agent and your company on Google My Business. With all the artificial intelligence, I can go in my house and say, hey, Alexa, what's the nearest real estate agent near me? And they're going to basically get all that data from Google Business. So make sure that you set that up. And here's just a few stats that we have. Let's see. We got 84 calls to the office straight from our Google Business ad placement. We can see here the branded, just people doing a search, how they found our listing, direct. There's all sorts of crazy stuff, and how many times we've showed up just on a listings on our search, how many people go to our website based on that, how many pictures were added or liked or whatnot. It's free. You should do that. Just make sure you don't take over when you add in an address and your company has one there. Make sure you set up separately under them. Don't claim the business as you, because that's not a good thing. Definitely have had that happen. Make sure to set up your own, go through the verification process to validate yourself and your phone number or address, and make sure to set that up and do some postings or whatnot. But you can manage everything straight from your mobile device now, but make sure to set that up. Free advertising. Your headshot's your brand. Please, I feel bad for this woman because she's all over the internet as bad real estate headshots. And just don't be using that 1990s glamour shot. Make sure that you pay for that professional photo. You are worth it, and it's your brand. And if you're not willing to do it for yourself, what are you willing to do for a client? And just look at it in that way. It's your reputation. It's your online presence reputation. Make sure to get that professional headshot and make sure that it's updated on all of your profiles for sure. My big tip for managing your online presence is brandyourself.com. They give you a whole bunch of tips and tricks and how to change your bio, what to add. It'll actually go through, you add in your name. It's going to give you a grade on your reputation. There's a free version, there's a paid version. If you've never done it before, to me, it's completely worth going through that paid version, even if it's for a year, just to get a ton of information about you, your online presence. It'll rate you and just give you a lot of great information for each profile. Maybe on LinkedIn, it'll say, hey, if you do this on your LinkedIn or your Google business profile, add in your name. That was the biggest thing for me, was adding my name into my bio. So my name is Heather Holliday, and that really helped with that whole SEO and my name and a Google search. So definitely check that out. That's one of my favorite tips for your online presence and basically managing your reputation and your name online. So here's a checklist: is make sure you have a professional photo. Make sure you have gone through, Google yourself, where are you? Go through the first 2-3 pages of yourself. Make sure that you have updated all of your profiles and your bios. Maybe put a year you started in real estate as opposed to X amount of years, because that you have to change every year or it gets stale and dated by putting, I started in business in 1999 or whatnot. It doesn't have to change every year. You're just going to change maybe some of the personal things or something like that. You just want it to be kind of fresh, but you want it to be consistent across the boards as well. Make sure you have your phone, your email, your website listed on every single profile. I would definitely add in those social if you're on social media networks. Put as many as you're on and that maybe you're active on, because if you set up a profile on Snapchat or Instagram but you've never posted, you may not want to prominently display that on everywhere, because we want people to be able to connect with you where you're actually active. And if you're advertising that you're on Instagram but you're not really on Instagram and people are sending you messages and you're not seeing them, that could be bad. So if you're on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, put those. If you're on YouTube, put that. Make sure that you're just putting wherever you actually are. Make sure that you're putting those profiles everywhere that you're online, your websites, anything like that. And then use that free version of brandyourself.com to be able to get some great tips. I have some websites here that I think are beneficial to setting up and making sure you're update for your profiles and all that fun stuff. So you have the Flex, you have Zillow, all of your social networks, homes.com, realtor.com, Google My Business, Nextdoor, House Logic. I mean, I'm sure there's a ton more, but just being, on the social networks, on Flex, of course, and go where the consumers are. I mean, that's the biggest thing, and those are usually the big sites where people may have set up a profile and kind of forgot about it. So make sure you're on all of those profiles. So those are my biggest tips. And of course, if you have any questions on any of this, you know how to find me. Chat soon. Bye.